Hello. Hi, ladies. Let's see if this works. The Wi-Fi for some reason wasn't great the last go around. So let's try this again, shall we? So I'm excited to share this message with you and I'm going to do it through story. But the reason it's so important is that A, I don't think we talk about it all that often, and B, I think we need to talk about it more often, not just for us, but for our kids as well. So this topic, of course, came to mind or was top of mind. And by the way, if you're hopping on, if you have a couple minutes to share, definitely say hi so I know who's here. And so this topic came into mind and into heart because in about not even an hour, about 45 minutes, I am leaving for the airport. My husband and son will take me to the airport along with my sister-in-law who just flew in this morning from Northern California, and we are headed to Italy together. And as I was literally preparing my last toiletries, as I was getting the last thin leather or the last sort of piece of clothing that's going to cover me, meaning I just looked and it's going to be a little bit cooler than I thought. So I put in a thin leather jacket, as I was doing sort of my last things. The following story, or memory, I should say, came to mind. And I want to share that story with you first. And then I want to go sort of deeper into the topic and then leave you with not only a mantra, but hopefully leave inside of you the motivation to really do more for yourself. It's great if our husbands honor us, if it's great, if our kids honor us, and meaning, do beautiful things for us or plan nice things for us. But at the end of the day, we are the ones that are in charge of our happiness. And so if we cannot be that person for ourselves, if we cannot plan the fun outing, if we cannot, get in for the massage, if we can't, take a moment of pause to really fill back up again, it's extremely difficult to give from that place, from that place of not having enough, not feeling like we are filled up, not feeling like we are rested up, not feeling like we are as alive and as enlivened for our lives as we could be. So here's the story. So my son is 12. I've had my business for about 16 years. Actually, not about, exactly this month, 16 years. And in those 16 years, I've traveled a lot. So I remember being on the road for a branding tour that I did. I do branding work, brand strategy work. I also do success coaching, all sort of in the realm of business and really helping you sort of create success on your terms, creating an authentic brand, just really feeling good about this thing we confusingly call a business, but is so much more than that. So I help women do that. And in these years, as I've been doing that work, one of the big trips, and one time I was gone a lot, was when I was doing a branding tour. So I was going to do 12 stops all around the globe. I ended up doing about 9 because then my brother ended up passing away. But during that time, during that period, and really throughout lots of other periods, when I have traveled either with a friend, I think of trips to Iceland or to Argentina or to Hungary, with a girlfriend. I of course have done many different business trips to different places, whether they've taken me away for a weekend, multiple weekends. When I did a yoga teacher training, when we were living in Mexico, I did a yoga teacher training that lasted 7 months, where I think it was every third weekend, I was gone for about 3 to 4 days. And this is when my son was a lot younger. And it's been as long as, a week. I think a week and a half has been the longest that I've been away. This time, as when I leave today, I won't be back for 8 days. And so I share all of this because Nolan, my son, is quite used to me going away. However, it's never easy. He's always, it's been different versions of a similar thing. So it's either, do you have to go? Another is, but why do you have to go so long? Another is, but I'm going to miss you. Another is, can I have a sweatshirt of yours to sleep with while you're gone? Which, by the way, I gave him this sweatshirt. Of mine. He may be sleeping on this side. This is my side of the bed. He may actually be sleeping with my husband while I'm gone, so that he doesn't miss me as much. So it's sweet in that, of course, seeing that love, and feeling that love from your children is always really great. And of course, I've had moments where I've told him, how much I'm going to miss him, and I'm going to call him every day, and I've left love notes, for every single day, that I'm gone, and all those things that moms do and that we think about. Now, one of these trips, I think he was probably around 7. And he said to me, one of those things, it was something like, do you really have to go? And here's what I told him. And here's really where we're going to sort of dive into the deep end on this conversation around really asking ourselves, do we really honor working moms who also work to prioritize their joy? Do we talk about that enough? Do we honor those moms? Do we honor, and here's the really the most important thing I think that I wanted to share today is that it's not even so much about other people honoring us. It's similar to what I said at the beginning of the live stream. It becomes that much more interesting, and it becomes that much more a sustainable thing, meaning our joy, our peace, our happiness, when are we honoring ourselves? Are we honoring whether we're working moms or not? Are we, as mothers, as the fireplaces of our homes, as the connectors, as the women that we are, fill in all of the titles, all of the things that you love to do inside of your family. Do we honor the times that we get to step away and fill ourselves up and sort of, step into our sort of multiple purposes in this life? We have multiple purposes. We get to run a business. And for those of you who are watching and you don't have a business, we get to, prioritize time with girlfriends, and we get to work on passion projects, and we get to, be creative in all the ways that we get to be creative, right? Or be in passion and feel alive. You and I get to do that for ourselves. We need not wait for our husbands, for our partners, for our boyfriends, for our girlfriends, for our children, for our parents, and you can, keep naming the rest. We need not, we need not wait for anyone else to say, hey, go on this trip, go do this fun thing, go do this passion project. Live in your creativity in this way. Be happy in that other way. Here's some tea. Hey, I scheduled you a massage. We can make the tea. Don't get me wrong. I am big, as my husband knows. I did about a week and a half ago. I said, hey, you know what, honey? It would be so great on Sunday afternoons for me to get set up for the week. Meaning, I would love some fresh flowers in front of me, for when I'm working. My water with lemon, maybe with some essential oils in it. What else did I say? What else do I love? My water, my flowers, blackberries. I've just been on this blackberry kick. And I mentioned one other thing, and it was really sweet. He did say, hey, by the way, I'm going to put that on my schedule, and I want to do that for you. I want to do that for you every Sunday. And I said, that's great. So don't get me wrong. I'm not just someone who is doing all of her own, is sort of making everything, all of her happiness happen, and I'm not able to receive. I'm definitely able to receive, and I'm definitely not shy to ask. So maybe that's another part of this message as well. But it's really important to understand that as much as other people can do for us and can honor us and can do, can sort of fill us up, it's you and I. That's really where the conversation is important, or I should say, where the conversation is needed. It's a conversation with ourselves. It's like, forget if anyone else is making this important. We have to make it important. And so as I get on this flight in about 3 hours to go to Italy, here's the story that came up. So Nolan was about 7 years old, and he, came into the bathroom and said, why do you have to go? And I think this was when I was going on my brand tour. And again, I was going to be away for about, I think it was 7 days. I think I was hitting 2 different stops. I was going to be talking about authentic branding, and I was going to be workshopping with different women in like New York and London and Amsterdam and San Francisco, LA. I didn't do them all at once, but essentially I traveled a lot and still travel quite a bit, and on my own, whether it's for fun like I'm doing today or for business. And so he said that, do you have to go? And I said, well, Nolan, I don't have to go. I don't have to go. I said, but I want to go. I said, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite thing to do at school? Now, mind you, I was like crossing my fingers that he was going to answer what I thought he was going to answer. And he did. And his answer was basically, when I asked him, what's your favorite thing at school? He said, recess. And I said, recess, yeah, oh my gosh, what do you like about that? And he told me, he loves to run around and play soccer and play, at that point, when he was 7, he was playing handball and kickball. And so he was, telling me all the things that he liked to do during recess. And I said, yeah, that sounds so fun. And I remember when I was a kid doing those things, and being at recess and like how much I loved that. I said, here's the thing. I said, you love recess. And mama, now that I'm older, I don't have recess. I don't go to school. I don't have recess. But you know what my recess is? And I will never forget his sweet little eyes, and just, how they look at you, and they're waiting. They so want to trust, you know what I mean? They just want, they just want to be loved. And I really felt like I was loving in this situation. And I also felt like his eyes were telling me, just tell me the truth. Like, just tell me the real, full truth. And I remember at that same, I'm going to tell you how I kept going in a second. But I remember around that age saying to him, you know what, honey? Mama is always going to tell you the truth. I'm always going to tell you the truth. And of course, age appropriate, right? And I still continue to do that. I still continue to promise him that, and I still continue to do that, to the best of my ability. Again, age appropriate to the best of my ability. And so I said to him, I don't have recess anymore. I said, but what mama does have is her creativity. And what mama does have is her business. I said, and I love my business. I said, because for me, it's not just a business. It is an outlet to my creativity. It is, and I'm paraphrasing, right? Because this was many years ago. I said something along these lines. My mama's recess, now that I'm an adult and a professional woman, my recess is my creativity. My recess is my business. When I get to go and help women in other parts of the world, or in other parts of the country, or when women, come to our house, to do work here, and you have to stay at school a little longer or be picked up by someone else, that's my recess. That's one of my recesses, and I explained to him, I said, it's hard for me as well. It's hard for me to leave you, and I miss you so much. I said, but when mama gets back from these trips, I said, aren't I more silly? And aren't I just like, silly was really kind of where I went with it. I was just like, aren't I more silly when I get back? And I'll never forget this too, he kind of tilted his little head and he said, well, yeah. And I said, so see, that's, when I go and get to do that, again, I play with you here at home, and I love playing with you, and you're my recess, and you are my, you are the thing, besides Papa, the thing that I love most in this world, on this planet. And that's why we do fun things, and we go to the beach, and, we do mama days on Wednesdays, and we do mama afternoons on Fridays. And, I do all all of these fun things with you because it's fun for me. And I love being there with you. I said, and, when I go on these business trips or on these trips with friends, I said, I also love how I get to go and do that for me, again, my recess. And I also get to come back and feel that silly, like that additional silliness, that expanded silliness for you, where we get to do more tickle fights, or, I just come back with, new energy, right? And so he accepted it. He took it in, and he's kids are such old souls. They really, I believe all of them are. I mean, they've just come from that place, that place of truth, that place of love, that place of unconditional love, that place where, because, they're still so young, when they hear the truth, again, when they hear you as the mom, tell them what is real, again, in love. And again, it's not that I love being away from him, but come on, we all get to live out multiple purposes. We all get to, feel like we can, for those of you who are watching and do have a business or some sort of consulting business or coaching business or product business, really feel like you are truly living out part of your creativity, in that business, or that you get to live out another arm of your purpose of supporting other people, meaning beyond your family, supporting other people emotionally, supporting other people spiritually, depending on what it is that you do, of course. And so, we get to do that. We get to live out these multiple purposes, and it is more than okay. It is more than okay. When many years back, I started working on a book that was called How to Be a Walking Momtra. Momtra, M-O-M-T-R-A. It's a mom-inspired mantra, but M-O-M-T-R-A. 8 simple truths to stretch every mom's happiness. And basically that book was about, I worked on it for years, and recently I started working with another creative consultant, and we decided to let go of the idea for now. I might bring it back, but for now we're just kind of banking it. We're just putting it to the side. But essentially that book, and I did a radio show around it, and I did, what else did I do? Gosh, I did a lot with it. But anyways, the book was essentially about what's in part of this subject line, or excuse me, the title of this live stream, which is, we need to focus on our happiness so we can raise happiness. Now let's really just take that in for a second. We get to focus on our happiness so we can raise happiness. I had to move from downstairs, so hold on, or from upstairs. Hold on one second. I'm on a live stream. Don't worry, I won't show. My sister-in-law's here. Remember, I was sharing that we're going to Italy in an hour or so. Yeah, so the Wi-Fi it just did something funky upstairs. So hello, everyone. So let's continue this chat. My sister-in-law's here, but she just took a nap, so I'm not going to I'm not going to put her on live stream. We're going to Italy in just a little bit. Okay, so here's the end of this message. So focusing on our happiness so we can raise happiness. We get to focus on our happiness so we can raise it in our families. We get to focus on our happiness so that we can raise it in our communities. We get to raise it in the world. And can you see my husband and son are back there watching soccer? How cute is that? We get to prioritize ourselves. We get to do that. We get to prioritize ourselves so that then we can come back filled up. We can come back with, new energy. We can come back with new creative ideas. We can come back, again, as I told Nolan when he was 7, we can come back with more silliness. We can come back with a more playful attitude, whatever it is. And so the conversation around, as I shared in the title, the question being, do we do prioritize, and or maybe not so much prioritize, we honor working moms, and there's a lot of articles, there's a lot of videos you can find, there's a lot of conversation around us honoring and respecting working moms and how much they do. And really my question is, do we honor those working moms, and meaning all working moms? When I say working moms, I mean every single mom, whether you have a passion project, a creative project outside of your family or not, all of us are working moms. Do we honor moms who also prioritize their happiness? You know, do we cheerlead them? Do we applaud them? And I don't believe we do. I don't believe that as a society we do it enough. And if we are, the fireplaces of our homes. You know, the other day, my husband and I were sitting sort of behind the camera, and we were doing a like an energy healing session with who's now, his name's Dean, and now he's a friend of ours. And we were talking about a similar topic, and around how, you know, we get to really look at these women, again, these women in the world, in our homes, who are, you know, and I'm gonna just pat all of you on the back right now and say that we are like the life of these homes. And when I say that, I think of what my husband said sitting at that table behind you, and I just remembered it. He said, honey, you are the fireplace and the life of our home. And I remember it made me tear up. And as it was making, well, actually, it made me tear up because he started to tear up when he said it. And yes, it was very sweet, but it was more than sweet. It just was a recognition. It was a recognition, not just in me, but I think in me for the world, meaning for the world of moms, for the world of women who are exactly that, you know, who are constantly prioritizing, who are constantly coming up with ideas, who are constantly being creative around our families. And so, you know, let us, you know, in order for us to keep doing that, in order for us to continue to be that creativity, to be that fuel, to be that fire, to be that excitement, and to be that alive, meaning that, you know, to enliven our family homes, we need to fill ourselves up. We need to fill ourselves up. And again, it's great when our husbands, you know, can think of getting, as I was sharing with you upstairs, buying the flowers or buying the blackberries or whatever. But this isn't about that. I'm not saying, you know, of course receive and ask your husbands for what you need. But what I'm saying in this conversation is, let's give it to ourselves. The more that you and I can give it to ourselves, whether it is a trip, whether it is a yoga class, whatever it is that will make your soul sing, whatever is going to make you the most happy and the most at peace, the more that you can give it to yourselves, you are modeling and you are showing your children. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the live stream. You are showing your children how to prioritize themselves. And it doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl, but you are showing them, you know, Mama, I get to go off and do this or do that, and, you know, like come back again more enlivened and have amazing quality time with you. Yes, I won't be here for 8 days with Nolan, and I won't have that quantity of time, but I for sure, because I've done it over and over and over again, I come back and I'm so excited to give him the quality me, you know, that quality time. And so again, it's not about, again, definitely receive it when you get it from husbands or parents or fathers or whomever you get it from. And just feel the power, feel the truth of, no, I get to give it to myself. And in the process of giving it to yourself, how much you are teaching the little girls in your life. Again, I don't have a little girl, I have a boy who's now 12. And do you know how much I love that Nolan has been able to see me throughout the years? Again, I've had this business for 16 years and I've had my own life for 43, but I've always prioritized my joy. And I didn't know it back then. You know, when you're in your 20s, you're just kind of doing that all the time. But I'm saying once I started getting into my 30s and I had him, I was more consciously prioritizing these moments and these times to fill myself up, because I knew that I was better for it. I knew that my family was better for it. I knew my business was better for it. So That's the message. That's the message today, is prioritize yourself. If other people are not bringing up the conversation, if you don't feel like, you are being honored, or, if you don't feel like you are being honored, begin to give that to yourself. And let me tell you, things around you will start to change in a way that you didn't know were possible. And it's in a peaceful, chill, like, well, of course I get to do this way. You know what I mean? Not in a, like, it's not so much in like a demanding way. Hey, by the way, I'm going to go take this week-long trip and that's just what I'm going to do. No, it's like, hey, babe, for those of you in relationships, I'm so excited. I think I'm going to do this trip, in September. I'm going to go to Italy with Rochelle. That's my sister-in-law who's in the kitchen. And I'm so excited, and let people see your joy. Let people see how excited you are about living your life, and allow them to step in and honor their role and honor their fun and their silliness, with the kids, again, for those of you who have children. So, and here's the mantra that I promised, or the mom-tra, the mom-inspired mantra that I promised at the beginning. And that is, I focus on my happiness so I can raise happiness. And I truly believe in that statement, in that intention, in that mantra, or in that momtra, that mom-inspired mantra. Because as I was, I didn't finish sharing with you what I was going to say. I don't have a little girl, but I do have a boy who's right there, behind there, watching soccer. And I so appreciate that he has had me, meaning has had me sort of doing my own thing at different points. Of course, the business takes me places, but then I just take myself places too on my own. I love that he has had that modeling of, whether it's a woman or his dad does the same thing, but just as a gentleman, as a man, also to see that both of his parents, do this dance of honoring themselves, and of doing beautiful things for themselves, and then seeing what that does, seeing what it means to have mama come back and be more silly and have more life to her and have stories, have things outside of the family that she can share. It brings a whole new life, to the family. So again, let's keep talking about this. Let's keep talking about how we can support women, how we can keep supporting moms. All moms are working moms. How we can support all moms to focus on that joy, to focus on their creativity, to focus on their happiness, because that is how they raise happiness. That is how they raise happiness. And again, not just in their homes, but in their communities and in the world. It is an energetic thing. It is an emotion thing. It is a feeling thing. When more and more of us women, when more and more of us moms go and do, and again, you don't have to go to Italy, you don't have to go far. I'm saying figure out what that creative spark is, what that creative passion is, what that passion project is. And do that. The more that more of us can do that, it is, again, that's where we talk about impact. It is a hugely impactful thing, not just on our families, but energetically out in the world, when we have women who are in their joy, who are in their gifts, who are in their creativity, and can come back from whatever passion project, creative project, whatever trip, we can, if we are those fireplaces where we can come back and wow, if we were a fire that was about this size, which is pretty good, we are ever expanded, that fire, that spark, that ability to, again, lead our families and to be, to continue to be that spark of aliveness in our families will just grow. And the more that we can do that in our families, that family, every single family that we can sort of lock arms with who are doing similar things, again, both for the men in the household and the women, if the two adults in the home, or for those of you who are just one of the adults in the home, however you can prioritize that joy, is going to mean so, so much, of course, to you first and foremost, but know that you prioritizing your joy or your peace or your happiness is never just doing great things for you emotionally, spiritually, physically. It is doing something energetic. It is doing something bigger for the world and the planet that we may not be able to see with our physical eyes, but that is nonetheless true. It is nonetheless true. So with that, I leave you with your mantra, or your mom-inspired mantra of, I focus on my happiness so I can raise happiness. I wish you well. I will be posting photos from Italy with my sister-in-law. Again, we're leaving the house in, actually I can show you to her now. Say hi, Rochelle.
Hi, friends.
We leave, I think, in like 15 minutes, right? What time is it?
I woke up like an alarm clock. It's like 1.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. We're leaving in like 10 minutes to go to Italy. So excited. So yes, I am sending you all my love, all my excitement. I can't wait to share photos. I will be live streaming from there as well. So definitely let me know in the comments what you might want to sort of expand on in this, what inspired you, what motivated you from this conversation. And in the next little bit, I'm also going to be launching High Touch for any of you moms who are business owners. I am officially launching a program called High Touch, which is essentially taking you, moms and non-moms, through the step-by-step of creating your virtual program, a virtual program. And, for those of you moms who are probably similar to me, where I love my online business. I love having a portable business. Speaking of going to Italy, I'm bringing my computer and just some work papers. I mean, I won't be doing a ton, but I will be doing a little bit. For any of you who are desiring to keep growing that portable business, this program, High Touch, which I'll post a graphic of it and the website so you can check it out. But this program is going to take you through the step-by-step of how to create a virtual program. And here's the important thing. Beyond just creating the program, how to create a virtual program that doesn't feel like a virtual program. Essentially, that has so much human heart, so much human touch, so much creativity week after week after week, where your clients are getting the results that they want. They're wowed. They're speaking of being enlivened, they're enlivened, and they have so much more energy to give to your program because of the creative ways and the different strategies that you have put into that virtual program in the first place. So for any of you moms, definitely check that out. And I think that's it. We're off to the airport now. So have a wonderful rest of the day. For those of you watching the rebroadcast, definitely let me know that you were here. I love seeing your hellos. So take care, everyone. And as always, enjoy your business and enjoy your life. Ciao.